I secretly loved him for 10 years. Never thought that even having his child was a mistake. He pushed me onto the operating table himself, saying, "Anyone in this world can have my baby, except you." "What are you all staring at me for? Don't you know how to clean up this place?" After a moment of silence, Latina Mera directly said to the people around her, "Hasn't Mr. Jason taught you how to handle these unexpected situations? Hurry up and clean this up." Yes, we'll clean it up right away." The maid was startled for a moment, then said, "Miss Latina, please be careful. Don't hurt yourself." Seeing that Latina Mera had already stood up and was ready to leave, the maid hurriedly said something, but Latina Mera didn't respond, already turning toward the door and walking out, pushing it open, and heading to the front yard. After the outburst, she felt like she was about to go crazy. It was hard to describe the feeling, as if she were a woman, trapped in her boudoir, full of resentment. The reason for her outburst was because she had asked if Jason Smith had returned, and the person had said no. In the past 2 days, Jason Smith hadn't come back even once, as if he had completely forgotten about this home. She really felt like she couldn't tolerate this. After all, she wasn't from an ordinary family, and her family wasn't poor. She and Jason Smith were of equal social standing. Why was he treating her this way? After finding the courage, Latina Mera took out her phone and dialed Jason Smith's number. The first couple of times, there was no response. The phone kept ringing before it automatically disconnected with the message. "Sorry, the number you have dialed is currently busy. Please try again later." That busy tone really had a way of making someone more frustrated. Latina Mera clenched her phone tightly, almost wanting to throw it across the room. But just as she was about to do so, she heard the sound of a car from outside the yard. She froze for a moment, glanced over, and saw the gate automatically opening and a car slowly driving in. The rear window of the car lowered halfway, and she immediately saw Jason Smith sitting in the back seat. The anger she had just felt disappeared in an instant, and her face changed quickly. Just like the weather in June. Jason. She called his name as she walked toward the car, which had just stopped. Hearing her voice, Jason Smith looked up and saw Latina Mera's familiar face. He hadn't been back these past 2 days, and he hadn't expected her to still be in the villa. She hadn't left yet. It seemed she was truly able to enjoy the loneliness. This place was so big, and he had only thought of coming back when Isabel Lopez was here. Now that she wasn't here, it felt even emptier and more meaningless to him. "You didn't go back?" Jason Smith asked directly. "Huh?" Latina Mera was caught off guard by his question, and for a moment, she couldn't react. Didn't go back? Didn't go where? To her home? But she had already moved in here as agreed. Had he forgotten? Or did he think she should leave now? She focused on Jason Smith, unable to figure out what he was really thinking, and she couldn't just say anything recklessly. So she asked this question to give herself more time to think. "It's nothing." But this time, Jason Smith didn't answer her. To him, it didn't matter where she was. He was only here to pick up some things and was leaving immediately. Where she stayed was of no consequence to him. With that, he pushed open the car door and got out. Latina Mera instinctively stepped back several paces when he opened the door. "Jason, what are you doing?" Jason Smith rushed into the house, and before Latina Mera had time to react, the distance between them had already widened. She hurriedly ran up, calling Jason Smith's name, but his pace didn't slow, nor did he answer her. He walked straight toward the room where Isabel Lopez used to stay. The doctor had said it was best to stimulate her, so he thought he should get her some clothes to change into. He wondered if the things Isabel Lopez had used before would help her now. So, he came back and personally packed the things she needed. "Jason, what are you doing?" Latina Mera followed him in and saw him crouched on the floor, packing up a pile of clothes that were clearly Isabel Lopez's. What is he doing with these? Is he planning to move her clothes out or throw them away? Thinking this, she was overjoyed. Like a child who had just received candy, her face lighting up. She wondered if he had finally come to his senses. If he had realized that Isabel Lopez wouldn't wake up and was ready to accept her? "Don't bother me." But to her surprise, Jason Smith said this. She was excited to go over and say something to him, but at his words, she froze in place immediately. Jason, what's going on? She hadn't done anything wrong. Even if she had the intent earlier when she was at the hospital, the nurse had stopped her. So why had he suddenly become like this? She really couldn't understand. "Step back," Jason Smith said. "I already told you. Don't come near me. Can't you understand?" His tone was cold, and Latina Mera quickly pulled back her hand from his shoulder. Jason, what's going on? I just wanted to help you. You're a grown man. How can you not know how to tidy up these things?" She said. "If you need something, just tell me. I'll help you." "No need." Her pitiful tone made Jason Smith soften slightly. He looked up at her, his gaze cold, but with a hint of softness. He realized that his earlier attitude was a bit harsh, so now he tried to tone it down, though his voice still remained distant, giving off no warmth. "I can handle it myself. Just do what you need to do," Jason Smith said. "Jason, she said. "Why are you suddenly like this? I'm a little not used to it." She intentionally made herself sound pitiful. Hearing this, Jason Smith was holding one of Isabel Lopez's favorite nightgowns. His hand stiffened, and as he squeezed it, the fabric wrinkled in his palm. "What do you want to do?" After a pause, Jason Smith looked up and asked, staring at Latina Mera. Latina Mera met his gaze. His eyes were dark and bright, scanning her as if trying to read her thoughts. Latina Mera, what's wrong with you? Is it just one word? You didn't do anything wrong, and the marriage wasn't just your idea. What are you worried about? What are you afraid of?" She told herself this in her mind. Taking a deep breath and summoning her courage, she said, "Well, Jason, didn't we already agree on this? Didn't we already agree to be together? To get married?" She continued, "Our wedding is approaching, and there are many things to prepare. As the groom, shouldn't you also show some interest in the wedding details? Sometimes, I need you, but I can't find you. The way you are now, it's really hard for me to explain to my family." In the end, Latina Mera brought her family into the conversation. Even if Jason Smith didn't care about her, he would have to consider the Mera family. After all, Mera family had only her as the daughter, and one day, the Mera family would be hers. Besides, as the young lady of the Mera family, the benefits she brought, did they really pale in comparison to a wild child raised in their family? She thought to herself. This statement reminded Jason Smith that, yes, as she said, the engagement was something he had agreed to, if by default he had accepted it. At that time, he had been focused on making Isabel Lopez suffer. He admitted that he had been a bit twisted, taking the grievances of the previous generation and putting them all on her. But who could understand the pain in his heart? He was no better off than anyone else. If there was truly no love, he wouldn't have spent all these years trying, using every method to keep her by his side. It was because of love that so much hate was born. If she weren't the daughter of that woman, if only that woman hadn't married her father, if they were just the most ordinary two people in this world, meeting slowly, falling in love slowly. If there were no grudges, would the outcome now be completely different? Thinking of this, Jason Smith gently shook his head. He, a grown man, shouldn't be thinking about such things. Yes, I didn't refuse, but, Jason Smith said, I can cancel our engagement now. Jason Smith said this directly. He had never really planned to marry her. It was just a strategy at the time. He knew it wasn't right, but things had happened. Now that Isabel Lopez's situation had occurred, he knew he had to stop before more damage was done. Latina Mera never expected to hear such an answer. She had worked so hard to make him release her from the engagement. She had tried so long, standing by his side at last. Now, he so easily said, he wanted to cancel their engagement. Was marriage really just a game to him? Or was their marriage really just a joke to him? If it were like this, she truly didn't know what to do next. She felt dizzy. Everything was a mess in her head. Jason, she said, you're lying to me. You're just playing with me, aren't you? Saying this, She hurriedly placed her hand on Jason Smith's arm and asked, "You're lying. You must be lying to me, right?" "Latina Mera, stop it." Seeing her, clutching his arm, the light in his eyes dimmed a little. "Please stop. We've already talked about this, haven't we?" Jason Smith said. "From the beginning, I told you clearly, didn't I? In my heart, there has only ever been Isabel Lopez. You heard that and still chose to stay. I know my actions were disrespectful to you, but now that this has happened to Isabel, I can't marry you. It's not possible between us." No, I won't accept it. No. Latina Mera clung to Jason Smith's arm tighter. "No, Jason, I don't want to. I can't lose you. I really love you. I can't lose you. Let go. Don't do this. No, I can't let you go. I can't lose you. Jason, I really love you. Saying this, she boldly kissed Jason Smith on the lips. Jason Smith, caught off guard. It didn't react in time, but when her head was about to rest on his shoulder, he suddenly turned away. Turning his face, Latina Mera lost her balance and fell forward, crashing onto the floor. Her face pressed against the cold ground. She immediately groaned, feeling dizzy, and when she opened her eyes, it felt like she was seeing stars. "Latina Mera, have some self-respect. I've already made myself clear. I hope you won't keep bothering me. If you feel you can't explain it to your family, I can call your parents and make things clear. I'm sure they won't blame you for this," he said. "Find someone who loves you. Don't waste your time on me." With that, he quickly packed the things in his hand into a black suitcase, zipped it up, and left. The room was empty, and for a moment, only Latina Mera remained, still lying on the floor, unable to get up. Tears blurred her eyes, and one of her hands was starting to ache from supporting herself on the floor. She let go, letting her body lie fully on the ground as tears freely spilled from her eyes. She had just wanted to offer herself, to take the initiative. She had seen online that men couldn't resist when women made the first move. But why was Jason Smith different? Why? Even though she had completely lowered her self-esteem, humbling herself to use this method to keep him, he rejected her so thoroughly, giving her no chance at all. It was so embarrassing. Really so embarrassing. She had never been treated like this before. She had always been the one rejecting others. But now, he had trampled on her dignity so much, as if making it impossible for her to ever recover. No matter what, she absolutely couldn't let someone else take Jason Smith from her. This man could only be hers, Latina Mera's. He would only ever belong to her in this lifetime. In the office, at his desk, Jason Smith sat alone in his chair, staring at the computer screen. These past few days, whether it was work or personal matters, everything had left him with a terrible headache. One hand propped on the desk, massaging his temple. He felt as if he was about to snap, like he was on the verge of losing control.